My name is ABrown, and my mentor is Richard Sorrentino. And my experiment for senior STEM is the effect of genetically modified foods on Drosophila melanogaster. In society today, our population is growing rapidly, and we are always trying to find ways to provide enough food for the population on this planet. One way biologists are doing that is by genetically modifying foods. Reasons why they modified foods are for abundance, pest resistant, herbicide resistant, and nutrient enrichment. For my experiment, I will be looking into the herbicide resistant. The chemical that I will be looking into is sidoxidin. For my experiment, I will be using Drosophila melanogaster, which is the common fruit fly. I will be looking at fertility, food ingestion rate, as well as death rate lifespan. Now the reason I picked these three are because I've researched that there have been experiments done on rabbits and mice that they were directly injected with this chemical, and it caused spontaneous abortions and, for the most part, death in females. And this all is reproductive. I will be testing the food ingestion rate by measuring the masses of the strawberries that I give the fruit flies. I predict that sidoxidin will have a negative effect on fertility and lifespan because from my research I have found that, as I said before, spontaneous abortions and reproductive effects have been negative. But in each experiment, it has only said that they assume that humans will not be affected, or humans' reproductive cycles will not be affected. And I also predict that the food preference will be towards genetically modified foods. And this is because they may taste and look better, and this is something that affects fruit flies. What I will be doing in my experiment is I will be purchasing fruit fly egg culture from Carolina Company. I will be separating it into two groups. One group will be fed genetically modified strawberries with the chemical sidoxidin, and the other one will be fed non-genetically modified strawberries without that chemical. I will be observing the fertility rate, food ingestion rate, and lifespan through both of the groups through their roughly 10 to 15 day life cycle. This is methods and timeline. So as I said before, I will be growing my own fruit flies from the culture. I will be feeding them, each group, genetically modified and non-genetically modified strawberries. I will be observing my three variables, and this will be done every 10 to 15 days, roughly, depending on the fruit fly life cycle. I will be preparing my materials January 8th and beginning my cycles January 15th. And as I said before, it will be running roughly every 10 to 15 days. If my predictions come out correct, we will see the harmful effects it could have in human beings because the fruit flies are model organisms to human beings. And they are model organisms because we can see multiple generations in a short amount of time rather than if we were to test on human beings or other animals, which may take years. If my prediction for preference is correct, which is that they prefer genetically modified strawberries, this means that even though my previous prediction, that genetically modified strawberries are negative, that even though they are negative, they still will prefer the genetically modified over non-genetically modified. And as I said before, we can see the effects on human beings based on the negative effects in these flies. And some alternative ways that we can genetically modify foods are for certified organic, so this would be using all natural. So although genetically modified foods, I guess, can be better, in the long run they can affect our reproductive and possibly society as a whole later on.